And this chemical trick is so incredibly advantageous for surviving in the deep, dark ocean that evolution didn't just stumble upon it once. Nope. It convergently discovered this exact chemistry independently on 40 separate branches of the oceanic tree of life. 40! Bacteria, worms, crustaceans, mollusks, fish, cnidaria like jellyfish and corals, they all figured out how to harness this reaction completely on their own. It makes bioluminescence one of the most convergently evolved complex biological capabilities in the entire history of life on Earth.
In this case, bioluminescence has literally been weaponized into a highly effective trap. Picture a female deep-sea anglerfish drifting silently through the dark, with this glowing lure swaying just above her massive mouth. Small prey, naturally curious about the light, come swimming in to investigate the luminous bacteria inside the lure. And, well, they swim straight into a deadly trap.
Ultimately, what seems to us like a dark, totally empty abyss is actually the most brilliantly lit stage on Earth. It's such a beautiful reminder of how life absolutely always finds a way to shine. Be sure to subscribe and join us for our next explainer, where we'll journey even deeper into the hidden ocean, to meet an animal with a completely transparent head and eyes unlike absolutely anything you've ever seen before. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you next time.
The answer lies with the dragonfish, which is frankly one of the biggest surprises of the deep sea. See, almost all deep sea animals have completely lost the ability to see red wavelengths, simply because red sunlight never reaches down there. But the dragonfish took total advantage of this. They evolved specialized visual pigments that allow them to produce and see red bioluminescence. So they're essentially hunting with a biological red flashlight that is completely 100% invisible to the prey they're sneaking up on. How cool is that?
Now we really need to make a clear-cut distinction here as we look at this diverse ecosystem. Biofluorescence is when an organism absorbs higher energy external light and re-emits it at a different wavelength. Basically, if you turn off the external light, the glow vanishes. But bioluminescence, that makes brand new light entirely through internal chemistry. One transforms light that's already there, the other creates light from nothing but pure biology.
So when a small glowing organism gets disturbed, it can let out this sudden, blinding flash to startle or confuse an attacker, which buys it a precious split second to escape. But there's an even wilder strategy, famously known as the burglar alarm hypothesis. Get this. Tiny prey can emit a bright light to deliberately attract attention from an even bigger predator. Why? Well, they're hoping that giant predator will swoop in and eat the animal that was originally threatening them. Talk about a plot twist.
We're talking about luminous squid and other creatures displaying controlled patterns of light for species recognition or even intricate courtship displays. Take the firefly squid, for instance. It transforms the dark ocean into a moving constellation of brilliant blue points all along its body. And when they're under attack, the vampire squid forgoes traditional black ink, which, let's face it, would be completely useless in pitch darkness, and instead releases this confusing, sticky cloud of luminous, glowing material to make a brilliant escape.
Let's move on and see how this builds into an absolutely brilliant and frankly ruthless biological toolkit for survival. I mean, they use this for everything. The anglerfish uses it for predator attraction, literally cultivating glowing bacteria in a lure to draw snacks right into its invisible jaws. Other deep-sea fish use downward-facing light organs, or photophores, to perfectly match the faint light from above, basically erasing their silhouettes from predators lurking below. You've got the Vampatoothus squid unleashing this blinding startle defense. There are highly coordinated mating signals, private spotlights, bright warning colorations, and even searchlight beams designed to break right through the camouflage of other fish. Now, shifting scale from the microscopic and the ultra-stealthy, bioluminescence also creates these massive visual spectacles that are meant to be seen from miles away. A perfect example is warning coloration. During spawning season over in Toyama Bay, Japan, millions of firefly squid aggregate in the shallow coastal waters, and they put on a show, producing these vivid, spectacular blue-white pulsing light patterns across their entire bodies. It acts as a massive collective warning signal to predators that they are unpalatable. It's essentially a giant glowing neon sign reading "Do not eat," and it completely illuminates the entire bay from within. You can literally see it from the air. The deep ocean is absolutely full of these evolutionary marvels, and bioluminescence is really just the beginning of the story. Next time on The Explainer, we are going to look at one of the most, frankly, bizarre anatomical adaptations ever found in the abyss, the barrel-eye fish. This is a deep-sea creature that hunts using rotating eyes that are perfectly visible through its completely transparent, fluid-filled skull. Yeah, you heard that right. You definitely won't want to miss it. Thank you so much for joining me for this Explainer, and keep exploring. And honestly, it gets even more incredible as we drop beneath the sunlit surface. Get a load of this number, 76. 76% of deep-sea organisms are bioluminescent. Think about that for a second. As you go deeper and solar light completely disappears, biological light actually becomes the dominant form of electromagnetic radiation down there. It completely shatters this whole illusion we have that the deep ocean is just a dark, barren wasteland. Far from it. It's a thriving, glowing metropolis.
And while the deep sea is, mostly out of reach for us everyday folks, there are places right here on the surface where humans can actively witness this phenomenon. The world's brightest bioluminescent bays, places like Mosquito Bay in Puerto Rico, the Luminous Lagoon in Jamaica, or Halong Bay in Vietnam. These spots contain millions of those light-producing dinoflagellates in every single gallon of water. They create the most intense, awe-inspiring natural light displays accessible to human observation. Jump in, and every movement you make leaves this beautiful, glowing, swirling trail of blue fire.
So the crucial point is that this exact protein completely revolutionized modern medicine and neuroscience. By attaching this tiny glowing genetic tag to other proteins, researchers suddenly had the power to make the invisible visible. I mean, we can now create connectome visualizations. Have you seen those? Those stunning, incredibly detailed rainbow images of individual neurons wiring together in a brain? We can tag cancer cells with GFP to watch tumor growth and metastasis happen in real time, right inside living tissue. We can even visualize glowing GFP-tagged viruses as they physically enter and infect target cells, mapping the exact mechanics of a disease like never before.
Picture this. You're holding your breath in near total darkness, right? You'd expect absolute crushing blackness. But then, you just slightly disturb the water. Suddenly, out of nowhere, that void completely comes alive. Thousands of microscopic marine organisms, these tiny things called dinoflagellates, ignite in brilliant electric blue flashes all around you. It's this absolutely breathtaking darkness-to-light reveal. Well, the reason blue and blue-green totally dominate these marine displays comes down to pure physics. Red wavelengths of light disappear incredibly fast because they just get absorbed right into the seawater. But those blue-green wavelengths, they travel highly effectively through the open ocean. Essentially, if you want your glowing signal to actually travel through the water and be seen by anyone, you've got to use the wavelengths the water actually allows to pass. Makes sense, right?
Because instead of a void, you're looking at a continuous, living light show. It's like cascading sheets of biological fire. There are millions of microscopic, single-celled organisms down there, dinoflagellates, and they flash this brilliant blue-green in response to every single movement and pressure wave. Every crashing wave crest, every little current eddy, even the wake of your ship. It literally illuminates the entire interior of the water column from within. The ocean, it turns out, is not some empty dark space at all. It's a fluid medium absolutely packed with living light sources. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer chemical elegance of how they do it. When we humans create light, like through combustion, we are so incredibly wasteful. We generate massive amounts of heat, and the light is really just a lucky byproduct. But marine life? They rely on something called the luciferin-luciferase reaction. Basically, at a molecular level, the luciferin molecule slots into the active site of a larger enzyme called luciferase. Throw a little oxygen into the mix, and it oxidizes through this highly precise molecular sequence that releases its energy almost entirely as a visible blue-green photon. Practically zero heat is produced. It's what we call cold light.